You said today was a celebration, but it was also to counter the doom and gloom rhetoric that you say Labour are peddling. Labour obviously say that they have no choice for that they were handed a dire situation from the previous administration. Do you believe them?
Labour have more choices than they are saying, and they've chosen really cruel options like cutting the winter fuel payment to pensioners, which is going to leave some of my constituents unable to heat their homes this winter. They've kept the two-child benefit cap, which is putting 300,000 children unnecessarily into poverty.
Are you saying they're not being truthful about the situation that the country's in?
I'm saying that Labour has more options than it's letting on, and it needs to be willing to take the bold action to ask the very richest in society, the multimillionaires and billionaires, to pay modestly more. And the tax changes I'm talking about are modest by the standards of other European countries, who understand that if we want to have high-quality public services and to defend our environment and move to a green economy with all the benefits that brings for lowering bills and creating jobs, we've got to invest in it to make those changes.
And on their green energy pledges, you said their GB energy was low-hanging fruit, but you've objected to pylons built through your own constituency. Some might see that as NIMBYism.
The question in East Anglia is what's the best way to get that renewable energy from the North Sea round to London and the South East where it's needed. There's a variety of ways in which you can do that connectivity infrastructure, and I've simply called for a proper options assessment of how best to do that.
And if that options assessment came back and said that that was the most efficient way, would you be happy with pylons built through your constituency?
Well, I want us to be able to have an honest and mature debate about it, to look at what's best for the impact on residents.
And if the impact on residents was the best way forward based on that review, would you support it?
Let's have a look. I will support whatever option is shown to be the best in terms of impact on communities, on nature, on building a long-term resilient plan for our infrastructure that brings people on board with the changes that we've got to make.
In terms of big infrastructure projects, though, the Greens have a record of blocking some larger infrastructure projects. So Green councillors in Mid-Suffolk blocked a solar farm, again in Mid-Suffolk, and the member of planning wanted to generate 2,000 megawatts of energy, again blocked. A third solar farm proposal in another council in Rutland campaigned against it in Hastings. Do you think the Greens are pro big green infrastructure projects?
Well, of course, the Green Party wants to see far more renewable energy of all sorts, whether that's at last insisting that new homes, new houses, new buildings, new commercial areas being built must have solar panels on their roof and be heated with renewable heat. That's an easy thing to do. Of course, we need to see more renewable energy of all sorts. We could make more use of tidal power, of hydropower in rivers, for example. So there's lots of areas that are underdeveloped. And in terms of the planning proposals for individual applications, of course, the full impact of those has to be considered locally and case by case. I want to see solar farms designed in a way where they work alongside growing food as well as the producing of energy, and they can be designed in that way, as happens in the US.
But the reviews that you're calling for slow down these big infrastructure projects. They have to be started. So is the Green Party's priority deep ecological environmental protection, or is it about clean energy?
We can do both those things if we do it right, and it's about government setting the right framework and leadership. So yesterday I voted for the Great British Energy Bill, and I made clear the government should do more on that in things like saying that we need to take action to insulate homes across the country, invest in reducing our energy bills and creating jobs, because the cheapest bill is the one you don't have to pay, and we have the leakiest homes in Europe here in the UK with the heat going out of the doors and windows. So there's action that we can take that will benefit people as well as the environment.